Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. If you want to catch the show live, these are recorded at 8 p.m. Friday nights. Wow, I completely butchered how I usually do that beginning, but that's okay. We got the message out without stumbling over my words too much. We have a fairly normal news tonight. We have privacy, security, data leaks, AI, business, and of course, we must go to SillyVille, where we probably have the silliest article I've seen in a while. But anyway, we will jump right on into the news. First up, who would have guessed it, but the FBI's warrantless backdoor searches were ruled unconstitutional. Who'd have thunk it? It only took like 20 years, and wasn't some reference to Edward Snowden who unveiled all this nonsense? Didn't his name come up in the Senate confirmation hearings this week? Do you think that he is a traitor to the country? No, I think he exposed that the government is a traitor to its citizens. But just saying, you know. But of course, this deals with the FISA courts, which is the foreign, what is it called? The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which allows the government to surveil foreigners. And it just so happens if those foreigners were talking to American citizens, they had interpreted the law as we can collect that data too. And this has been a contention pretty much since FISA was created. And they finally came down with a ruling saying, no, these are actually unconstitutional. You cannot be collecting data on American citizens without a warrant. And you can't use the FISA data to apply for the warrant. So, you know, this is, of course, anybody and their brother who had even heard of the Constitution, let alone read it, would probably be able to tell you the exact same thing. So the good news is that this is moving its way around. The bad news is they're probably still going to keep on doing it or try and find other ways to collect such data. What they were doing a lot of times is they were collecting the data, using the data as evidence to find something else by which to get a warrant for something entirely different. And that is really what the case that launched this. Somebody said, well, how'd you know to do that? They kind of basically became the 5-year-old. Why? Until they finally got down to, well, we picked it up in this FISA court. Well, did you have a warrant for that? Well, then you can't use anything here. And that's what it boiled down to. So, hey, the good news is that it has been ruled unconstitutional. The bad news is they're going to continue to abuse their power, because why not? If you are using Meta products, Meta AI can now use your Facebook, Instagram, and data from all of their other apps to personalize your responses. And it will collect apps from your profile, from conversations. If you have a conversation on WhatsApp with some weird person over there, we'll call him person A, and you happen to mention that you are vegan, and then you're having a conversation with person B over here, and you ask AI to suggest a place to eat, the AI will consider the fact that you said to person A that you were vegan, and so it will remember that you're vegan in providing a dinner recommendation with person B. So they're able to collect all of this data about you from all these different sources and then now feed all of this back into their AI. And then their AI will have memories of you. They call them memories, your memories of you. So the AI is going to start remembering a lot about you, which, hey, could be good to make sure you're always telling the truth. Because if you're lying about liking some movie over here and you bring it up in some conversation over here, the AI is going to, no, you hate that movie. You said that over here. Wait, what? The AI is going to catch you in your own lies, folks, because you're allowing it by being on Meta's platforms. So, and it will remember your WhatsApp conversations and your Facebook conversations. What you say in WhatsApp will now be applied to Meta inside of the Facebook conversations. And so they are basically completely merging all of the data into single sets to train the AI on your personal data. Why are you still using this stuff? It's not worth it. But my family's on it. Tell your family to get off it, you know? I mean, There's other ways, folks. There's other ways. But they are combining all of that data together so that now everything will be all unified together, which is the very same thing that when they bought Instagram, the whole thing's like, you cannot be combining all this data. Like, oh, we will never combine this data. Yeah, it's all combined now. All right, of course, now we have to talk about the nightmare on Kroger Street. So Kroger and Microsoft are changing shopping with facial recognition. Now, what frightens me a little bit about this is Microsoft also works with Walmart, although they're not doing this. So the best way, if this audience, you've probably walked into a Best Buy and you've seen the price tags they use in Best Buy. Those price tags are radio controlled, so they can change the price of products on the fly on the floor without having an employee going around pricing all the products. Those product tags will also tell you if something is in stock or not, if you were unaware of that. If you look at those price tags at Best Buy and you see a little green check mark, even if the shelf is empty, the check mark means they have inventory in stock. The X means that they are out of stock in everywhere in their store. So you can easily look at the price tag of that and see if something is in stock or out of stock. The problem is this technology is taking the next evolution at this point in time, where now Kroger and Microsoft are experimenting with facial recognition to follow people around, and it is using the facial recognition tying into your ID and all of the other advertising marketing about you and inferring what prices you might pay for things to maximize the actual amount of profit that they can make. Now, what I looked at this, when I heard Louis Rossmann first talk about this, I said, I don't think they can do that because let's say two people are going into the store and you want to buy this lovely jar of water here, okay? Jar of water sitting on the shelf. And on the way a typical store goes in is this water sitting on the shelf for $1. Anybody comes in, picks this guy up, walks up, the register scans the little barcode on the bottom, and the register says $1. Now, what they're proposing is this water bottle sitting on the shelf, and it has an electronic name price tag that will change. If I walk in and the machine perceives that I really just am super duper thirsty and I have some extra money, and so it might charge me $3 for this water bottle. But some other guy comes in and it knows it just had a Coke. He's not particularly thirsty and he doesn't have a lot of money. They say, well, this water's only $1 for you. Now, I have one in my cart. He has one in his cart. We both go up to the checkout. When the checkout is rung in, how does it know that mine is $3 and his is $1? Well, now with the computers, what they're trying to do is map everything around the store to keep track of the individual items' barcodes on an individual customer as they're going around the store, which is absolutely insane. But that's what they're trying to do. And I thought about this another way, that some stores are now trying to do like the self-auto checkout where you'd go into the store with a scanner. So you go into a special shopping cart and you take the item off and you scan it and put it in your cart. And then when it comes to checkout, you simply push the button, an employee verifies the receipt, the number of items, and, spot checks a couple things, and then you're done. Well, that way you always have the pricing system set up right. But this is insane what they're trying to do. And so they're tying in the facial recognition to personalize in-store experiences. It might recognize customers and their shopping pattern when they step inside the store, or quite prospectively, revise prices based on customer profiles. Under the concept coined as dynamic pricing, it means there could be potential situations where different shoppers are looking at different prices for the same product simply based on the data variables like loyalty status, their purchase history, or even demographics for that matter. It extends Kroger's technology investments such as ESLs, and its prices in stores can now be changed in real time. The firm announced an investment in an AI company, Intelligence Node, toward the end of 2024 to ramp up its pricing, and polishing continues its move into automation and AI-driven personalization. But despite Kroger's assurance that the technology's aim is to improve in-store shopping experience, the public and lawmakers have taken adverse reaction. You think? I'm sorry. I'm never going to a Kroger again. Nope. Done. Peace out. Peace out. Not a chance. One ex-user reacted, no Kroger for me then. That's a violation of basic decency and privacy. See what kind of hates on Twitter? I don't know. Anyway, another warned, we want flying cars and we got AI racial profiling. Hyperfresh needs to hire a better editor, though. There should be a quote on the end of that. Other lawmakers who have come out in opposition include Elizabeth Warren and Bob Casey and Rashida Tlaib. In October 2024, a letter to Kroger's chief executive Tlaib raised concerns that facial recognition technology could result in discriminatory pricing and even consumer exploitation. You think a big mega corporation is going to exploit customers based on progressive advertising policies and facial recognition? They would never do that. Okay, never mind. We're talking about Kroger, aren't we? Yeah, we're all doomed, folks. We're all doomed. This, indeed, is a nightmare on Kroger Street. Now moving over to security news. First up, hackers are targeting machine identities, and Token Security just raised $20 million to stop them. So what this is boiling down to is, and we had a case like this recently where one of my clients, we had given somebody access to the Facebook account to do things, and we decided not to work with the guy going forward. Well, Facebook, instead of giving him our logins, has the ability to give us the ability to give them through their login access to the account. That's one issue you can deal with. But in other issues, you might be sharing accounts. You might have 6 different people running it. So what's happening is a lot of more advanced companies like Facebook, they can see every individual computer that is logged in. So what our final decision was is the guy told us we're from Georgia. I went in to check the Facebook log, and he's over there signing in from Cairo, Egypt. Okay, we're like, yeah, log out of that guy, log out of that guy, log out of that guy. So I could go in and I logged Facebook out of everybody except our California offices and my systems as well. So believe it or not, I do actually use their Facebook account for business stuff, and it makes me want to go and engage in deletion all the time. But anyway, part of my job, so I do it. But I was able to look in and see all these. So this is the problem, is a lot of companies, they let somebody go, and the person, even if they change the passwords, they may not be logged out to the system. So what this company is trying to do is add themselves in to scan for the number of different computers and profiles and to prevent people from taking over, which should, in theory, also stop people who are attempting to do the session cookie takeovers that they're doing with phishing and malware and things like that. So in theory, it might stop against that stuff as well. So I don't know. We'll have to see if they're going to be successful in the long run. This one is a masterclass in master stupidity. And so Mastercard had a DNS error that went unnoticed for years. And the problem is that the DNS error could have resulted in a malicious person scraping data. And unfortunately, some of the people in the comments were morons too. I think I delved into this for like 45 minutes last night. It was crazy. But if you notice on this screen here, what they had is when you're configuring services that are calling things. In this case, Mastercard was set up with 5 different DNS routes. So 5 different servers are mirroring the credit card processing system. So in theory, this is 5 instances of these servers that are set up. And so when a credit card transaction goes through, it's going to take the list of name servers and ping across them. And the first one that lets it gets through and does the processing and returns. Well, they had 5 of these, and they had a typo in one of them. So these are all supposed to be at like an Akamai Technologies through an AWS card, an AWS server. And the problem is they had a typo in the third one that instead of going to akamai.net, ended up going to akamai.ne, which consequently is Nigeria. So literally, Mastercard had an error in their system pointing DNS to a potential Nigerian scammer. Now, some people were saying, including Mastercard, by the way, when they were made note of this, they said, oh, well, we fixed it, but this wasn't really a critical bug. I completely beg to differ. Completely. This is a major critical bug because if you registered this domain and then you set up data on it, you could collect all of the type of data that was coming to it, and then you could reverse engineer the data and you could fool the system, and you could have literally stolen large percentages of full Mastercard customers' details. Mastercard denies that, but if you know anything about DNS, and I do, that's exactly what could have happened. So this security researcher discovers this, registered this domain with his own $300, and end up reporting it discreetly to Mastercard, who basically said, yeah, kid, that's not really a problem, but we went ahead and changed it. They did not offer to pay him for the bug release. They didn't offer anything. In fact, when he sent them a message, and then once they fixed it, he reported this on LinkedIn, and then through Bug Crowd, they yelled at him for a public post about this undisclosed issue with Mastercard, which Mastercard has already said wasn't even a problem, which is an utter lie. This is Mastercard trying to cover its butt for a really, really, really bad security bungle. And who knows, for a period of time, maybe somebody does have the data and they just aren't releasing it. This is actually a bunch of information that was collected once he registered the domain. These are all the proxy systems that he got out from it. These A records and AAA records, these are IPv4 and IPv6 website pings that are trying to access it. So these are individual IP addresses. So he has logged individual IP addresses attempting to access the websites at these particular locations, which he collected all of that simply because of their misconfiguration. And Mastercard's like, it's not a problem at all. Of course, the previous guy that had access to this is some Russian dude at Yandex. So Mastercard, as if you could get away from it, it's kind of frightening. Anyway, we will move on over to data leaks next. So first up, we have an update to the United Health Change Healthcare subsidiary. Of course, they originally reported only about 100 million individuals affected. Only 100 million people had all of your data leaked. Only 100 million of you. Come on, guys. Just calm down. Just calm down, all right? It was closer to 200 million people. They revised their numbers quite silently and basically said, it was about only 200 million people had all their data leaked. Remember, this is the one that collected your all your diagnoses, all your health information, all of your basically everything about you is all now in there because these companies don't know how to prevent your data from leaking all over the internet. Isn't that wonderful? And our fallen AngelSense here. AngelSense is a GPS tracking company that is targets their market towards people who have some form of mental deficiency that requires tracking. So if you are a severe autist or Joe Biden and have dementia and will wander off, you got to GPS track that old president there. And so what you do is you would use the AngelSense GPS. It's basically like like an ankle monitor type thing, only it's not like mandated by courts. It's a voluntary thing you put on people or things that you don't want missing. Full-fledged GPS tracking. And unfortunately, they had a major breach. So we don't know if the data was if anybody else had the data, but the security researchers UpGuard found a misconfiguration in their database server. But they had an entire database completely on the internet with no password protection at all. Isn't that exciting? And that information included real-time information about where these people were. You could literally go and abduct a dementia patient or an autistic child if you wanted to. You knew exactly where they were. They also grabbed partial credit card information, customer accounts, email addresses, passwords, and authentication tokens, all in plain text. Isn't that wonderful? No encryption on that database. And so they don't know how long the databases were exposed or how many customers were affected, according to the database's listings. The search engine of internet-facing devices listed at exposed log database was first spotted in January 14th, though may have been exposed for longer. So this is actually a company, Shodan, goes around and looks around for things that are insecure and on the internet. So they're, all of their data, of course, is leaking, including the location data from AngelSense. So yes, the fallen AngelSense has come. So at this time in the show, I usually do some form of affiliate spot if you want to help support the channel. But in lieu of doing that today, I wanted to highlight, if you have not seen Louis Rossman's new project, which is the cat, we're going to promote Clinton the cat. My kitty doesn't care. This is the Consumer Action Task Force that he's been putting together. It is at wiki.rossmangroup.com. And what he is trying to do here is collect a lot of the variety of different abuses that consumers are going through, so that we see that the FTC is not doing a lot, but we see that public pressure is one of the things that causes these companies to bow down and change their ways. And so what he is doing is he has created a whole website which is all publicly available and publicly editable, so that they can get in there and populate this with good examples of what consumers are doing poorly. So the idea is down the road, if you're looking at a service or a product, then you can come in here and you can look to see if that product is listed, and then you can read all about it. So the old one is 30 years ago. Consumer advocacy dealt with more visible problems, unsafe products, misleading labels, materially false advertising, bait and switch, things like that. New consumer protection, they face exploitation that strike at the heart of what it means to own something and deliberately designed to be difficult to understand or resist. So unlike above, these issues are usually not even illegal. Modern businesses have perfected the subtle art of control. They're able to remotely deactivate products you own via cloud services, alter a purchased item into a significantly different version after the sale, gather personal data without adequately disclosed, and sell it without proper consent. Hinder service cancellation, and design systems where signing up to a one-click but canceling involves navigating a complex process, which, by the way, the new FTC chair has decided to. He decided that explicitly, no, that one-click cancel, that's stupid, that's bad, which is horrible. And so this is kind of what he's basically wants to have in information. So you can click over onto the categories page, and then we can see products, services, protocols. So if you look at products, here's PayPal Honey. We have the Spotify, we have the HP Instant Ink, and these articles, people are coming in and really doing a good job of updating these particular articles with full references. And so we can see the pages per month, we can see what the cost is, but then it talks about cancellation or alteration. It talks about the trial activation and limitation of printer usability. They're mentioning the class action lawsuit, workarounds. So this has a lot of information. So I would recommend you have a look over here. He also has one on, I think it's in here somewhere. I've got to find it where it was again. Somewhere in here, I did actually see the, if you remember his discussion on Netflix, where he went in and just bought the higher tier, and you had to have special equipment for the higher tier. That is actually in here somewhere as well. I did see it earlier. Can't find it right now, but I did see it earlier. But if you want to have a look at this, it's at wiki.rossmangroup.com, and this is the Consumer Action Task Force. We will do that in lieu of any form of affiliate today, because I think this is an amazing cause that needs spread around. With that, we are going to jump on over to AI news next. First up in AI news, if you have a Apple product that is just upgraded to iOS 18.3, all of your AI was just turned on for you. Isn't that awesome? Oh, they're thinking so much of you. They just know you want AI crammed down every little nook and cranny of your life. And so they just went ahead and turned it all on for you. They did leave out that whole AI-generated ads, news headlines, because that was kind of causing a little bit of controversy. But outside of that, we're in good shape, you know. But they says here, for the most part, shouldn't be noticeable for majority of changes, except that notification summaries are gone. But for most apps, not much changed on the front, but Apple announced with iOS 18.3, it's temporarily disabling notification summaries and let the BBC articles. It says change the presentation. Dude, what is it with all the presentation crap? I'm sorry. I meant to not skip over that part. But basically, one other update to include visual intelligence, a feature available on most recent phones, gives you information on objects your camera is focused on. It can now identify more plants and animals, and you can create a calendar events from flyers seen on posters in your viewfinder. That might be useful, but I'm sorry, I just don't want AI in every system of my phone completely turned on by default, especially when we know it was misbehaving in one place. It might go to follow it, might possibly misbehave somewhere else too. I don't know. And, of course, we had to talk a little bit about DeepSeek. And what I wanted to mention about DeepSeek here, dude, Guardian, you are a stupid, crazy left-wing right. Like, you close a pop-up and another one immediately pops up again. A Guardian is a plague, is a cancer on the world. But I did want to cover this one. There were obviously DeepSeek is a huge thing this week. Took the app storm, the app stores by storm, and jumped on, took number one, tanked a few markets, stock markets in the tech sector, as they said that they could do much better than ChatGPT on a tenth of the power and the infrastructure. Although it would appear it basically just scraped ChatGPT and is reporting those, except it seems to be live censored by the CCP itself. There were examples of people, it was giving data that was objectively accurate, and then while people were looking at the screen, it erased the answer and said something else. There were actually cases of that. So, but the question is, the big question here is with this coming out and now everybody's running the AI race, we're getting to the point where it's like for years and years and years, the whole world was going like, anti-nuclear power, it's so bad. Even though it is the cleanest green energy we can get. Oh, gotta go anti-nuclear power. As soon as the AI is threatening the nuclear power grids, hey, let's turn on nuclear power. We need it for all this AI stuff. And now every country is now racing to have the biggest and the best AI, and it's going to get to the point, this is what causes Skynet to happen. That we all abandon asking if we should do something to figure out if we could do something. And before we know it, we have gotten to a system where we cannot turn it off. And that is, unfortunately, the place where we are getting into as we speak. And so what they're doing here is the two AIs, the ChatGPT and DeepSeek, of course, there's also Llama and Claude and things like that as well. But they're coming in and they're basically competing with each other, trying to get customers from one another. And one of the big questions we have right now is what's really is going on behind DeepSeek. There's an allegation of open sourceness. That's not really true. There's elements that are open source, but not everything. And it's unclear what type of data it is collecting, what it's doing with the data, how it's being stored, to the point where I think is it Italy, I think, has banned the app from the store. So all the app stores had to take it off of it in there. I think it was Italy. It's either Italy or France. I think it was Italy. And so the question right now, and why this is more of a fad in my opinion, is we're going to start looking deeper and we're going to find this is collecting data in far worse ways than even TikTok. And that is kind of frightening, but it all starts with this AI war to try and get the biggest and the best and the fastest. And what are these AIs getting us? They're not getting us better legal cases. They're not getting us better medical care. They're getting us more efficient phishing, more efficient spamming, more efficient malware, and more efficient abuse with the systems, not the positive things that are coming from AI. It's insane what we're seeing with the AI. But with that, let's move on over to our business news. First up, Oh, there it is. First up, we were talking earlier, I think it was on the comments or somewhere before this, we're talking about E.T. in space, This is actually E.T. having his first satellite call. Vodafone makes the world's first satellite video call with a standard phone. So this is not some special phone. This is a standard phone, and they're doing the video call. Now, right now, they're like the call is coming through fairly low resolution, but it works. Video's working on both sides. You can hear what's going on. All this is done with satellites through Vodafone. And so we are now getting to the point, of course, they're all praising this up, this is so amazing. The dead spots are gone. Yeah, that's kind of problematic. Now you can't even go and survey the polar bears in the Arctic without being able to be annoyed by a text message notification. How joyful. Now, obviously, it's good to be able to have signal everywhere in emergency circumstances or things like that. But the problem we have is that at some point in time, can we just get away from technology for a little bit? I think that our society is so toxic and neurotic because we cannot escape the technology. Your average person doesn't know how to leave their phone at home and go touch grass for a while. They got to take the phone with them. They got to always have to have it. You got to be in constant contact. And then most people keep all these notifications on and their phone's constantly beeping. And so they are habitually just staring at their screens all day. This is just going to make it a little bit worse. But hey, at least we have calls bouncing off of the satellites, which means that ET can now finally call and phone home. So there you have it. So this is an interesting one. Of course, YouTube and ads and ad blockers and things like this. YouTube wants everybody to disable their ad blockers, but then they want to show us unskippable hour-long ads. And then, of course, they won't clear up their ad system. So they're changing their browser so you can install effective ad blockers. They're telling you can't use an ad blocker. And then they're giving you hour-long unskippable ads and malware all over the internet. That's hosted on their own ads. It's malvertising is the biggest form of malware right now, and it is at the core of Google, and it's being made worse by Google crippling ad blockers. What is up with this nonsense? But anyway, frustrated YouTube viewers seeking an explanation for an hour-long unskippable ads. There's a chance ad blockers are eating up the skip button, which is also failing to block the ad. Wait, what? I guess if I saw this, it was like AdBlock Plus was not able to block the ads. uBlock Origin on Brave, I haven't seen an ad on YouTube in a long time. So YouTube users are experiencing extremely long, unskippable ads, sometimes up to an hour long. There's a good chance ad blockers might be contributing to the issue, allegedly. Yeah, right. Google maintains it restricts unskippable ads to a maximum of 15 seconds on mobile and 60 seconds on TV. Oh, I'm not sure if that's true. Update, we've heard back from Google, and they offer the statement, ads are the vital lifeline for our creators to help them run and grow their businesses. That's why the use of ad blockers violate YouTube's terms of service. We've launched global efforts to urge viewers with ad blockers to enable ads. You see, no, because now we're getting creators putting an ad in there on top of there, and don't tell me that that's the basis, because you're running ads on my channels that are not monetized. I have been working hard on all of my other channels as well, and I haven't seen a dime from any of those, because I also don't want to go out and get sponsors and do sponsored ad spots inside my videos. I think it's tacky. I don't want to do that. And I know I do not like going to a video, I want to hear what, let's say, JP Reacts has to say, and now he's going to get in there and talk for 5 minutes about some nutritional supplement. Guess what? I think your nutritional supplement is absolute garbage. I think it is. I studied nutritional supplements professionally. Your nutritional supplement is garbage. I clicked to view the video, not the nutritional supplement ad. It's nonsense. Utter nonsense. And so they're still showing ads, even on my channel, that I'm trying to get my writing channel up into the threshold where I can monetize it with ads. But they're still running ads on that channel. I'm just not seeing any revenue from it, even though I'm bringing eyeballs to the channel with my content. This is not the reason. YouTube is lying once again. But for whatever reason, they were showing some hour-long unskippable ads in there. Now, of course, if you get an hour-long unskippable ad, just reload the browser window, and you'll either get a different ad or no ad at all. But there you go. So that's the kind of stuff that's going on. And on to our final one, everything is spam on Facebook, unless it's paid post or actual spam. This is true. Actual spam gets through Facebook just fine. And anything that's paid also gets through just fine. But just the random run-of-the-mill stuff, you can't find that anymore. That's on the internet. That's not useful stuff. Ew, we don't need any of that, you know. So this is from It's Foss. This was the best read-up I saw on this. And this is why it's not just Distro Watch. It was a lot of things. This Foss reported on this because It's Foss articles about Linux were being blocked. So if you've tried sharing any articles from It's Foss on Facebook, if yes, you've been seeing the message that your post was removed. Doesn't matter if it was shared by It's Foss page or by a reader you like on their wall. If you shared a URL from It's Foss or news, it's.com, it's removed as spam. Looks like you've tried to get likes, followers, or shares or videos in a misleading way. It's Foss article. Just install Ubuntu 24.04 LTS Noble Numbat. Noble Numbat. Wow, I almost said nunchucks. Wow, what's going on? Here are some must-dos to enhance your experience. That post goes against community guidelines. Well, of course it does. You're installing Ubuntu. You should be installing Linux Mint or Arch or something cool at least. I don't know. Anyway. But of course that's not spam. You know, so the above message in the article was suggested the things to do. Is it spam? You be the judge, of course. It's not just It's Foss. So they said that small publishers across the Facebook are experiencing it. So this one is from OpenSUSE. It's OpenSUSE, though. You can block that. They don't want to be on these evil platforms anyway, you know. But anyway, yeah, OpenSUSE was blocked. Distro Watch received the blocks as well. Their outburst got noticed by big publishers like The Register, and after the reporting, Facebook apparently removed this ban and whitelisted DistroWatch. So DistroWatch apparently is cleaned up, but It's Foss kept on getting blocked until they actually hit the boost button and ran it as an ad. If It's Foss posted the article, it was blocked as spam. But if It's Foss paid Facebook to run an ad, they allowed it. So apparently, if you do that, oh, look at that. Caden Live is doing an AI background removal tool. Oh, I did read that article. That's right. So what options do you have? Well, you can either pay people to do it, or, hey, maybe just make your Facebook posts as spam anyway, and then they'll be allowed on. I don't know. But there you go. Everything is spam except spam itself. And now, guys, it is time to head to your favorite place and to mine. It is time to go to SillyVille. And first up in SillyVille, a Georgia man orders a drill online and gets a printout picture of a drill. He also orders a power washer and gets a screw. Now, of course, people question, he paid $22.47 for a power washer. The $22.47 is really cheap for a power washer, but it's really expensive for a screw. I'm just going to point that out. So obviously this guy was getting some bad thoughts here. But they literally, they sent a picture of the drill. This was Alibaba, of course. Now, what's curious to me is that he attempted to work with Alibaba. This is AliExpress, AliExpress. He tried to work with AliExpress and didn't get anywhere. He then goes back and tries to get his money back from a chargeback on his card, and his credit card even denies him. So he orders a drill, gets a picture of a drill, and his credit card company is aligning with AliExpress, not him. I'm sorry, I'd be closing my bank right now and possibly filing a lawsuit against the bank. That would be fun. So, buyer beware, or as they say in Mandarin. There you go. So there you have it, guys. Just be careful when you're buying stuff from AliExpress. How long before Amazon starts getting into this as well? I order a drill on Amazon and get a picture of a drill. How long before? We know that a lot of people selling on AliExpress and Temu are also selling on Amazon. I mean, it's just around the corner if it's not already here. All right, so here's a California man really thought he could steal a robot from a restaurant. Yeah, so I don't know if there's sound on that. So I'm going to, it's a news clip. So we got to get to the video clip. It's coming right up. Okay. So here's the dude coming in, over there on the left of the screen. He kind of, I'm sorry. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, it just jumped screens over there. He goes to the restroom. He comes out. Now he's picking up the robot and he's trying to run out with the robot and put it into the back of his, I want to say it almost looks like a CRV, but I don't think it is. Doesn't look like it's a Honda. I don't know. Maybe it is a CRV. They open that way. So here he's trying to cram the robot into there. Oh, come on, YouTube. Don't give me... So he's trying to cram the robot into there. The employee comes out and they stop him. Of course, this is an $18,000 robot that weighs 130 pounds. That is geo-restricted to that location. It won't do anything. Not to mention, it's a robot in this day and age. Do you think they won't know where it is? Of course, it is the Bay Area, so he's probably out right now looking for another robot to steal. So we'll have it there. I don't even know if I'd want to try and steal this thing. This thing's crazy. Of course, this is one of those serving robots that'll go around with, I think, water trays or something like that. So there you have it, guys. Trying to steal that. Of course, we all love 2001 Space Odyssey, but are we ready for 2025 Space Oddity? There was a mysterious new asteroid spotted by some astronomers. They start looking closer. It ends up being the Tesla Roadster in space that Elon Musk shot up there. Apparently, it came around to there. I don't know if there's that. So, if you remember Elon Musk 7 years ago, they needed to get some extra ballast into the rocket. He's like, throw my car up there, and so they threw the astronaut in the driver's seat and are literally orbiting a Tesla around the Earth. And they saw this thing from the telescope, like, this is a new meteor. We don't know what this thing is. They went scrambling to figure it out. They finally get the high resolution, and they see this dude driving around this solar system in a Tesla. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. That is definitely an excellent dude there. So, and they did put the astronaut in there. It's a mannequin, of course, but he is now driving around. And this is why aliens are not. This is Starman, of course. This is why aliens are not visiting our planet. They're like, dude, stay away from that place. They are so junky. They have filled their orbit with all of these pieces of garbage floating around, and now they even have a car. Like, I guess they ran out of room on Earth to throw them, and so they just launched a car in space. And so here the UFOs will come by, and then the Tesla's coming by in a car. They're like, dude, let's get out of here. This place is nuts. And so that's why we have not had alien encounters here, because the aliens just think we're crazy. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump out over there to help support our channels. We have our Linux, we have our Christian, and a newly relaunched is Writing Done Right. The channel I mentioned, we're trying to get to monetization threshold. We need a couple hundred more watch hours. I think it said 1,000. I need 100. I think we need just under 200 more watch hours on Writing Done Right. We do a lot of FOSS software over there. Anyway, this Patreon will help support all of our channels. You can also pick up our new ebook or audiobook over there. If you are a $5 a month or up, these are free downloads for you. If you are free or $1, you can buy them for the prices listed on the site. And with that, just jump on over there to help support us over there at patreon.com/TOMM.